What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best NBA player props on Prizepicks today. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see we actually got 20 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We only got 2 picks wrong and got 20 right, which is a 90% win rate. Yes guys, you heard that right, 90% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get a 90% win rate and get 20 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $375 just yesterday, and another member who won $100 for the 6th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. I want to give a quick shout out to Adeji Jaslami 6399 who said, hey, I just messaged you in Discord, so I'll check that in a bit. Also shouts out to Chris Deadmon 9877 who said, I need to be in your Discord, and shouts out to Regal 111 who said, everyone can't always be a fantastic and great player. So shouts out to them, and yes, he may be onto something there, but shouts out to them. And if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below on this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're talking about is Jaylen Williams for 5.5 rebounds, and this one is for less. Now looking at Jaylen Williams, we have seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. Now looking at those 5 games, we see on June 6th, faced off against Indiana, had 4 rebounds there. June 9th, faced off against Pacers again and actually had 5 rebounds in that matchup. Then June 12th had 8 rebounds, June 14th had 7 rebounds, and then June 17th had 6 rebounds. So we have seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5, and his average over the last 5 is actually 6. So this definitely is an interesting pick here because OKC do face off against Indiana. Now, I do also need to mention that all these picks are going to be from this game, guys, because there is only one game and 2 teams left in the NBA Finals. Now, looking at Jaylen Williams and this pick and OKC, we did see OKC do a fantastic job during the regular season because they did finish with a record of 68 wins and 14 losses. So they had an 82.9% win percentage, which was fantastic to see. They were 35-6 at home and then 32-8 for away games. They finished off the season with a 4-game win streak as well, and they face off against the Indiana Pacers in this matchup. Now, looking first at Thunder and their road to the finals, they definitely faced off against some tough teams. They had an easy matchup in round 1 against the Memphis Grizzlies and was able to get that done very quickly. After that, they faced off against, actually the Denver Nuggets, who were a tough team, but they were able to take them to 7 games, and Thunder were able to come out on top. And then they faced off against the Minnesota Timberwolves and were able to get it done there. So we definitely saw, them actually do a fantastic job. Now, when it comes to actually Jaylen Williams, we actually do see when it comes to Jaylen, he has been a very crucial player for this Oklahoma City team, especially during this playoff one. But looking at Pacers, we do see Pacers do have a really good position as well, in a sense that they did finish 4th in the Eastern Conference, but they definitely had a great run to the actual finals. They beat in round 1 the Milwaukee Bucks, and when it comes to the Milwaukee Bucks, big matchup there, and were able to get it done very quickly. Then faced off against the Cavaliers and got that done very quickly as well, as they are actually the #1 seed. And then the Pacers knocked out in the conference finals the New York Knicks. So we definitely saw them do a fantastic job, and both of these teams, Pacers and OKC, definitely deserve to be in the finals. Now, Pacers had a record of 50 wins and 32 losses, so they had a 61% win percentage. They also ranked 29-11 from home and 20-24 away games. So it definitely was interesting enough there. Now, looking at Jaylen Williams, it's definitely been interesting because we do see that when it comes to Jaylen Williams, this one is a rebounds pick. Now, looking at rebounds for Indiana Pacers and how they do defensively, they actually rank 22nd. However, the reason why we do like the under for someone like Jaylen Williams is that Jaylen tends to play that small forward position. What we have seen throughout this series is that actually Indiana do a fantastic job at restricting rebounds to the small forward position. Now, definitely, there has been some games where Jaylen Williams has been able to go on the over on Pacers. But like I've mentioned time and time again, when it actually comes to, NBA finals, or NBA playoffs in general, there will be times where players beat their lines when they're not supposed to, and vice versa. So yes, he did go on the over in some of those matchups, but even if you look at the most recent game, he only made it over by 0.5. So it's not really convincing enough to us. We do believe in this next game, especially in game 6 being such a crucial matchup. As you all know, OKC are up 3-2 in the series. So if OKC wins this, they win the NBA Finals, or they pretty much win the championship. And then Indiana are looking to push this into a Game 7. So if this does get pushed to a Game 7, and coming into this game, we are expecting Indiana to really hone in and focus defensively. And we should see them do a fantastic job, as they have done throughout the regular season, restricting rebounds to the small forward position. So definitely keep an eye out for someone like Jaylen Williams. But looking at Jaylen Williams against Indiana during the regular season, when it came rebound wise, we definitely have seen them play each other, quite a few times throughout, his career. But looking at actually this season, we did see on the 26th of 2024 of December, we actually saw them face off against each other, and he had 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists there. So he did go under on his line in that matchup. Then we also saw Jaylen Williams on the 29th of actually March faced off against Pacers there. 2025 had 18 points, 2 rebounds, and 6 assists. So the 2 times that they did face off against each other, Jaylen Williams did go on the under on his line. And we are expecting, pretty much the same sort of scenario coming into this next one. So for that reason, we are sticking to the under for this one for someone like Jaylen Williams. So Jaylen Williams, 5.5 rebounds for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting to the next one, we're going to be talking about Miles Turner. So as you all know, Miles Turner, great player. However, this one is actually for 3 points made. So this one's an interesting one, because this one is for 3-pointers made for actually 1.5, and this one actually is for less. So, looking at someone like Miles Turner, we definitely have seen him go on the under in 4 out of the last 5 games. So Turner, as we all know, is a great 3-point shooter, but he definitely has struggled throughout this series. We saw on June 6th, faced off against OKC. We saw in that matchup, he actually had 2 3-pointers made there. But after that, we actually saw it go a little bit downhill. June 9th, faced off against OKC again, had 1 3-pointer made. June 12th, had 1 3-pointer made as well. Then had 0 3-pointers made on June 14th. And then June 17th, had 1 3-pointer made. So it definitely has been a bit of a struggle for someone like Miles Turner throughout this series, especially when it comes to 3-point shooting wise. And as we all know, we do know Indiana and OKC the way they rank. But looking where OKC do rank defensively when it comes to 3 points, we do see Oklahoma City Thunder, OKC, do rank first when it comes to 3-point percentages allowed. They also rank when it comes to 3-point attempts allowed. They do actually rank 23rd. And then 3 points made allowed, we actually do see OKC rank 12th, or tied 12th. So we do see OKC do a fantastic job at actually restricting 3 points. Now, obviously, they do allow quite a lot of attempts, but they don't really seem to convert, because at the end of the day, this, sort of pick is for 3 points made, not 3 points attempted. So even though Miles Turner may get a couple of shots off, we are expecting OKC to really play and hone in on that defense. Like I mentioned, this is a crucial game for both of these teams. If OKC win, they win the NBA Finals, and if Pacers win this game, then they push to a Game 7. So this is pretty much a very, very crucial game for both of these teams. And because of that, we are expecting OKC to turn it up on defense as well, and really hone in and focus at what they are good at. So we are expecting, Miles Turner to go on the under in this situation here. His average over the last 5 is 1.00, so just 1 flat. And we do look at Miles Turner against Thunder during this regular season. We have seen them play twice. First was on the 26th of December 2024. Now in that matchup, he only made 1 3-pointer made. In that matchup, he had 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 assists. And in our next matchup where they faced off against each other on the 29th of March, he had 0 3-pointers made in that matchup as well. So he did go on the under on both of those games, and we are expecting, pretty much the same result and the same sort of, I would say, action coming into this next one. So when we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So Miles Turner, 1.5 3-pointers made for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about none other than SGA, or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And this one is also for a 3-pointers one for 1.5, and this one also is for less. Now, looking at Shai, we have seen him go on the under in 4 out of the last 5 games. Now, this definitely has been an interesting one because we do see that SGA has definitely been a great player for this series, but 3-pointers haven't actually added up for him. On June 6th, faced off against Indiana, had 3 3-pointers made there. Then in June 9th, faced off against Indiana, had 1 3-pointer made there. June 12th, moving on from there, had 1 3-pointer made. And then June 14th against Indiana, had 1 3-pointer made. And then June 17th against Indiana also had 0. So, he has gone on the under in 4 out of the last 5, like we mentioned, and his average over the last 5 is 1.2. So, we definitely have seen, pretty interesting stat line from SGA, even though he's playing well. When it comes to the 3-point side of things, it hasn't really been looking too well for him. But looking more in depth into this, we do see when it actually comes to, what do we call it? Indiana Pacers defensively. We do see Indiana Pacers when it comes to 3-point percentages allowed. They do actually rank a ninth. 3-point attempts allowed, we see Indiana Pacers rank 9th, and then 3-point makes allowed, we do see Indiana Pacers rank 7th. So we actually do see that when it comes to SGA, they honestly do rank very well, or the team that they played rank very well at restricting 3-point attempts, makes, all that different stuff. And that's why coming into this next one, we do very much like the under for this situation here. Now, when it comes to someone like SGA, we tend to see him as well during this series not really have too many attempts at the 3-ball. He's definitely, kind of forced, or the defensive game plan that Pacers really do run against him is to really force him in the paint and try to get him, to try to score in the mid-range or do other things when it comes to offense. So we definitely have seen that kind of happen when we look at Pacers kind of game plan towards everything. Now, looking at, this matchup and also their matchups throughout the regular season, we have definitely seen them play a few times. So obviously on the 26th of December, like we mentioned before, they played each other. Now in that matchup, he had 45 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. Now he did have 4 3-pointers made in that matchup. And then they faced off against each other again on the 29th. Now on the 29th matchup, we did see he had 33 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists. And he had 3 3-pointers made there. So yes, we have seen in, pretty much both instances, he did go on the over. However, as you see, it is playoff time. Playoff time is definitely a little bit different, as strategies are definitely more honed in and focused on trying to stop, especially those main players. So for that reason, we do very much still like the under for this situation here. And it definitely does show in the history of the last 5 games that they have played against Pacers. SGA hasn't really shot too many threes, and it hasn't really been converting for them as well. So for that reason, we are definitely still liking the under. Like I mentioned, when it comes to, picks like this, we also like to look at what the bookies are saying. Now, bookies also have in favor for the under as well, so we definitely do like that there. So SGA 1.5 3-pointers made for less, I think is a fantastic pick. All right, so as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but Prizepicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than Andrew Nembhard. Now, as you all know, Nembhard is a fantastic player for none other than the Indiana Pacers, and he has done a fantastic job this regular season, because he has actually averaged 10 points, 3.3 rebounds, 5 assists, and also has a 45.8% field goal percentage. So he has done a fantastic job there. We have seen him actually rank 125th in points, 150th plus in rebounds, and then 37th when it came to assists allowed. So we have definitely seen Andrew Nembhard do a fantastic job during the regular season. And when it comes to his time with the Indiana Pacers during this playoff run, he's definitely been a huge asset for this team. Now, Pacers find themselves in a bit of a sticky situation because they currently are, only 1 loss away from losing the NBA Finals. So it currently is 3-2. OKC are up. So Pacers definitely need this game to keep this alive. And on top of that, looking at both these teams, just to remind you, Pacers did come fourth in the Eastern Conference with a record of 50 wins and 32 losses. Now they had a 61%, win percentage. They went 29-11 from home, 20-24 away, and they had themselves a very, very good road to the NBA Finals. They faced off against the Milwaukee Bucks in round 1 and were able to knock them out pretty easily. Then faced off against the actual number 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers, and they were able to knock them out. And then after that, faced off against the New York Knicks and was able to knock them out in the conference finals. So now they find themselves in a great position in the finals as always. But when it comes to this, Pacers sort of situation, they definitely need this game to keep this alive. Now looking at, their opponent, Oklahoma City Thunder are in a little bit of a different situation because they absolutely dominated the Western Conference because they came number 1 in the Western Conference with a record of 68-14. Not only that, they also had the best record in all of the NBA. So not even just their conference at all. So looking at their home record, they had a 35 win, 6 losses at a home, and then 32 wins and 8 losses for away games. So they honestly did fantastic. Now, when it comes to their road to the finals, they still definitely faced off against tough teams. They were able to knock out Grizzlies in round 1. They were taken to 7 games against the Denver Nuggets, but were able to pull through and win that series, and then knocked out the Minnesota Timberwolves, who definitely are, or one more of the fan favorites coming into this playoff. So, looking at OKC, they definitely have earned their stripes in this playoff run, and now they find themselves only 1 win away from an NBA championship. So this is definitely going to be a crucial game for both of these teams. Now, looking at Andrew Nembhard and Indiana Pacers against OKC, we do know that Oklahoma City Thunder do rank 3rd when it comes to points allowed. They also rank actually 4th when it comes to assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed, they do rank 20th. Now, when it comes to someone like Andrew Nembhard, we do actually like, the under for this situation here for points, rebounds, and assists. Now, Oklahoma City Thunder do a fantastic job strictly just for points and assists, but also Andrew Nembhard doesn't really have that high of a usage rate in the rebounding department. So that's why we do believe he has the capability to actually go on the under in all 3 categories. Another big reason for us is not only just, Oklahoma City Thunder's, great defense, but on top of that, when you look at Andrew Nembhard, we definitely seen his usage rate remained a little bit on the lower side over the last couple of games. And there are 2 reasons for that. The first being that when it comes to Pacers, obviously they are trying to string along some wins and try to get a win under their belt. And they have definitely focused in and honed in to try to get, the star players in this Pacers team to do a lot more of the heavy lifting. Whether that's Tyrese, whether that's Pascal, the list really does go on and on. So Nembhard has definitely taken a little bit more of a, supporting type role, which was definitely kind of what he was, or what his role was for this team. But we definitely have seen Andrew, especially in the most recent game, and we are expecting in this game 6, where it's a crucial matchup, we are expecting the star players to have a little bit more usage rate out there and really pretty much control the floor. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for this situation for someone like Andrew Nembhard. I think all 3 categories, whether it's points, rebounds, and assists, he definitely has a capability to definitely go on the under, and that's why we are sticking to something like that. Now, looking at someone like Nembhard, we do also know that he has had, not really too many great games over the last 2, so he has been a little bit of a cold streak as of lately, and I do believe Oklahoma City Thunder's defense has definitely played a huge part. Their defensive strategies that they have been chucking on the Pacers has been working, and we definitely have seen Nembhard struggle. So we definitely see that happening and continuing on into this next game, no doubt about it. So for that reason, keep an eye out for Andrew Nembhard. Keep an eye out for his line. If the line is too close to his averages, then definitely look to go on the under. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Oklahoma City Thunder's Aaron Wiggins. So when we look at Aaron Wiggins, we all know great player for OKC. Now, he has actually averaged 12 points, 3.9 rebounds, 1.8 assists, and 48.8% field goal percentage. So he's definitely done a fantastic job there. When we look at someone like Aaron Wiggins, not only that, but we have seen him ranked 96th when it came to points, 115th when it came to rebounds, 144th when it came to assists, and then 39th when it came to field goal percentage. So we definitely have seen him do a fantastic job when it actually comes to, having a good usage rate, especially for a team like OKC who do quite have a lot of players. Now looking at someone, like Aaron Wiggins and also the matchup, we do know Thunder find themselves actually up 3-2 in the series. So it's definitely going to be a big matchup there. On top of that, we do know Thunder did come first in the Western Conference, and then Pacers did come fourth. And to even add a little bit of cherry on top, we also do know that OKC had the best record in the whole of the NBA. Now, coming into this game, obviously OKC are very close to closing it out. And looking at Pacers defensively, we do know that Pacers do actually rank 17th when it comes to points allowed. When it comes to assists allowed, we see that they rank 12th, and then rebounds allowed, they do rank 22nd. So it is a little bit interesting because we have actually seen Pacers rank pretty mid to low tier in all three categories. Yes, they do rank a little bit higher in some, but when it comes to someone like Aaron Wiggins, we still do like the under for this situation here. Now, a big reason is that when we tend to see closeout games, we tend to see star players really have most of the usage rate coming into that game. And that's what we are expecting in this matchup right here. We are expecting someone like Aaron Wiggins to play more of that supporting role, especially coming into this playoff game. As the Thunder are only one win away, we are expecting them to really hone in, focus on Shea, focus on players like Chet to really do a lot more of the heavy lifting coming into this matchup. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for this situation here. Now, looking at Aaron Wiggins over the last 5 games, we definitely have seen some interesting matchups there. We saw in game 1 against Indiana where they lost 111 to 110. We saw him have 3 points, 0 assists, and also 0 rebounds. Then in game 2 against Indiana, 123-107 victory, had 18 points, 1 assist, and 4 rebounds. After that, game 3 against Indiana, 116-107 loss, had 0 points, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. Then in game 4, had 1 point, 1 assist, and also 0 rebounds with a 111-104 victory on game 4. And in game 5, had a 120-109 victory and had 14 points, 0 assists, and 5 rebounds there. So we definitely have seen, OKC do a great job throughout this whole series. But when it comes to someone like Aaron Wiggins, although he has gone over in some of those games coming into this next one, especially a closeout game, we are expecting the other star players for this OKC team to really provide a lot more of the scoring. So for that reason, we do very much like the over for this situation. And we definitely are sticking to, the under for a situation like this. So keep an eye out for Aaron Wiggins' line. As I always mentioned, when it comes to his line, if it is too close to his averages, then definitely look to go on the under. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Ben Sheppard. So, as we all know, Ben Sheppard, great player for Indiana Pacers. Now, he has done a fantastic job during the regular season because he actually averaged 5.3 points, 2.8 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and also shooting 41.8% from the field. So we have seen him do a fantastic job there. Now, when it comes to his ranking, he ranked 150th plus in points, 150 plus in rebounds, and you guessed it, 150th plus in assists. Now, looking at this matchup, we do know Thunder face off against Pacers. As I mentioned, these are the last 2 teams left, so all these picks are going to be from this game. But Thunder do find themselves up 3-2 in the series, while Thunder have a record of 68-14 and Pacers have a record of 50-32. Now, just to remind you all where Thunder rank defensively, we do know Thunder rank 3rd in points allowed, 4th in assists allowed, and when it comes to rebounds allowed, we also see that they rank 20th. Now, for someone like Ben Sheppard, we do like the under for this situation here, but strictly just for points and assists. Now, a big reason is that when it comes to Thunder, they do a better job at points and assists, but on top of that, when we look at someone like Ben Sheppard, who is a guard, we may not see him have a lot of usage rate coming into this game. We only saw him get 6 minutes in the most recent game, and we are expecting a similar amount of play style or play time from him coming into this next matchup. A big reason being is that obviously, Pacers are down. They need to win this game, and we are expecting Carlisle to really play their starters, play them as much as they can, and to help them force a game 7. So it's definitely going to be interesting there. Now, looking at Ben Sheppard over the last 5 games, you see on game 1 against OKC, had a 111-110 victory. In that matchup, we actually saw him have 3 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist there. So we see in game 2 against OKC, had a 123-107 loss, 3 points, 1 rebound, and 0 assists there. After that, faced off in game 3 against OKC again with a 116-107 victory. Now, in that matchup, this one's interesting because he actually had 4 points, 2 rebounds, and 0 assists. Game 4 against OKC, 111-104 loss with 3 points, 0 rebounds, and 0 assists. And then also game 5 against OKC had a 120-109 loss with 0 points, 1 assist, and 1 rebound there. So coming into this next game, we do very much, like the under, like I mentioned for this situation for someone like Ben Sheppard. We definitely see him going on the under due to the fact that we are expecting players like Tyrese, also other players, in this Indiana team like Pascal, Miles Turner, the starters to really do a lot more of the heavy lifting coming into this matchup. So for that reason, I do very much like the under for someone like Ben Sheppard. But like I mentioned, definitely keep an eye out for points and assists.